Well, YouTubers, boy, I'm out of dough, out of money, and I was given a gift card, or a Sam's card, over the holidays, and I used it to buy water, maybe some other things, but usually water or fish or something like that. And recently passed, they stopped doing Visa cards the end of last year, but they would do some debit cards anyway, one thing or another. And now they're cutting out some of the debit cards that they'll accept. Not all of them. Some of them they do, some of them they don't. And but interesting, I still think that you can buy the gift card at the counter with your credit card and then go ahead and use it yourself. I haven't tried that, but I think that's still possible unless they change that setup. I do practice what I preach, and pretty pricey. Picked some up today at a shop right down the street, and they were packed. All the stores have been packed, but this is a firing range. They had boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of ammo. If you wanted to walk in and buy 5, 10, 15, 20 boxes of hollow point, every caliber. They might be the ones scarfing it up around town. Well, I doubt it. Anyway, they're getting their hands on it, and they're marking it up hefty. $25 to $39 for a box, or 20. Some of them were 25s, but $50, one thing or another. Some of them, they were $2 a bullet for some of the personal protection, but most of it was right around that $25 range, the $30 range, $40 range. They had plenty of it. The only ones in town that I found that's completely stocked. They didn't have a lot of just target ammo, which you'd be real wise to go in there and bring some of that too. I highly recommend that you practice with both. You don't have to practice with your carry all the time, but every 3 or 4 months or 6 months or whatnot, somewhere in that time frame, you need to rotate that ammo. Now you can store it. I started storing my last ones, but feel free every once in a while to squeeze off 20 or 30 rounds, or just say 20 rounds. It'll do you good. I would take my gun down at the range and practice with it. A couple of shots with the personal protection, run my target ammo through there, break down my gun, clean it at the range, take a break, come back fully rested, and run the magazine, or a couple of 2 or 3 shots here, or 5 shots here, scenarios. Well, anyway, not to get sidetracked, but this is why I wanted to make the video. I only had 2 left. Yes? Okay, what? Okay, 10 o'clock tomorrow. Fine. I'm making a video, so I'll call you later. Uh-huh. I will call you tomorrow or tonight for the details. Bye. Pardon me. Where was I? Oh, I practice what I preach. Sometimes I've done it in the past. I might not be doing it right now, like on the ammo thing, but with the scarcity of ammo and the prices and just the fact that it's good practice. And the fact that when you do go it's good to have simulated jams, and you need to kind of do your best to kind of react to them according to range rules. Every range has their own rules. You know, if I was up at the country or something like that, I wouldn't have to worry about where I point the weapon or one thing or another, but keep the range rules in mind. You always got to be concerned where you're pointing the weapon. And it's a very good practice to get used to the fully simulated thrill of racking that slide to clear a jam in case it does happen. They do happen, even on Glocks. Yes, they do. It happened to me the other day when I went out on the range multiple times. Could have been just that cheap ammo. I've never had that many jams in a row or that close together, but it does happen. And you know, that's kind of what I want to touch bases with. They were jam-packed. They had waiting lines at the door, 50 feet waiting lines to go rent a lane, and then they had another 50 feet to 100 feet of people waiting to go shoot, and then they had every single line full. Now, that was an indoor range. The other range I went to the other day was an outdoor range. They hardly had anyone there. These people are in a high dollar district in town, and there were people of all shapes and sizes and ethnicities in the range, and everything was going. Guns, rifles, renting, buying holsters, but everything was moving there. And the range fees, because I don't know why he chose to give them to me, maybe because the guy bought a rifle there. He gave him some free range time. Well, not free, I guess it was a discounted range time. Box of ammo and whatever else. I don't remember whatever else. Because he bought an assault rifle. Anyway, the long story is, the range fees went up. Everybody's range fees went up. I'd like to find something that's a little cheaper, or go make my own range somewhere. He was charging what other people charge for the range fee. He was charging that, or actually more than that, per hour, and he's getting it. So the best practice besides dry firing is good, but dry firing will not completely eliminate any pull. You can do very well at it, and at the range, just shooting at the range is not going to do it. You need to dry fire. The very best thing to do after you've dry fired it many times, say for instance 1,000 times or 2,000 times in a week, or 3,000 or 4,000 times in the course of 2 weeks, is go to the range, do it yourself, or have somebody, if you can, somebody else load the magazines with you, with 2 or 3 or 4 at their discretion. Let them decide. It could be just, they might just load it once. I've had one guy that gave me 4 magazines and nothing in one magazine, one in the other magazine, one of the last shots, and the other magazine loaded it up. Every other couple of shots back to back were the dummy rounds, the snap caps like this. I had a lot more of them then. They're a little pricey. I don't really have the money to get into it, but buy you a box of 5. I saw them there for some cheap ones for 75 cents a pop. Like I said, buy you a few of those, practice with those at the range with live ammo, somebody else loading it, so you really do not know if it's feeding in there with a live round or a dummy round. And if you do that in combination with the trigger exercises with the dry firing, and learn your weapon, you'll get better groups, I promise you.